From building makeshift toys in a segregated Alabama neighborhood to creating one of the most iconic inventions of modern childhood, Lonnie Johnson's journey is the stuff of scientific legend. Best known as the mind behind the wildly successful Super Soaker water gun, Johnson has spent his life chasing big ideas, from heat-powered engines to high-capacity batteries, with quiet determination and unshakable belief in the power of innovation. His life story is not just a tale of invention, but a blueprint for resilience, creativity, and the relentless pursuit of better solutions. A curious start in Mobile, Alabama. Born on October 6, 1949, in Mobile, Alabama, Lonnie George Johnson was raised in a working-class family that valued both education and resourcefulness. His father, a World War II veteran, worked as a driver at local Air Force bases and was a skilled handyman on the side. His mother juggled work in a laundry and as a nurse's aide, and during the cotton harvest season, both parents would help on his grandfather's farm. From an early age, Johnson was encouraged to build, experiment, and tinker, not out of luxury, but necessity. Those early lessons stuck with him. As a child, Johnson constructed his own toys, like a bamboo Chinaberry shooter with his father's guidance. At 13, he salvaged junkyard parts to build a go-kart, complete with a lawnmower engine, and took it for a spin on the highway, until the police intervened. That same fearless curiosity led to explosive results, literally when he attempted to create homemade rocket fuel in his mother's kitchen, nearly burning the house down. But behind the playful mishaps was a sharp and imaginative mind. Johnson's early experiments weren't just play, they were prototypes of a bigger dream to become a world-changing inventor. Education against the odds. Growing up during the era of racial segregation, Johnson attended Williamson High School, an all-black school where expectations for students were modest at best. Counselors discouraged him from dreaming too big, urging him to settle for a technical job. But Johnson, inspired by stories of African-American inventor George Washington Carver, refused to be boxed in. Nicknamed the Professor by his classmates, he poured his energy into science. In 1968, Johnson became the only black student to participate in a science fair hosted by the Junior Engineering Technical Society at the University of Alabama, a school that had made headlines just 5 years earlier for its resistance to desegregation. There, he showcased his air-powered robot Linux, built entirely from salvaged parts. Despite the unwelcoming atmosphere, Johnson won first prize. After high school, he earned a scholarship to Tuskegee Institute, now Tuskegee University, where he completed a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering in 1973. He stayed on to obtain a master's in nuclear engineering 2 years later, arming himself with the credentials he needed to pursue a serious career in science and technology. From the Air Force to NASA, Johnson began his professional journey in the U.S. Air Force, where he contributed to the early development of stealth bomber technologies. In 1979, he transitioned to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, where he worked on major space missions, including the Galileo mission to Jupiter and the Cassini mission to Saturn. His role as a systems engineer placed him at the cutting edge of space exploration, but his inventive spirit never took a back seat. Despite his demanding day job, Johnson continued to pursue personal inventions in his spare time. He had one idea in particular that he couldn't shake: an eco-friendly heat pump that used water instead of Freon, a chemical coolant known to harm the ozone layer. One night in 1982, while testing a prototype in his bathroom, he accidentally blasted a stream of water across the room. That serendipitous moment was the beginning of what would become a global phenomenon: the Super Soaker story. That powerful spray of water sparked an idea, a toy water gun that could shoot with incredible force and range. Johnson spent years refining the concept, building prototypes, and pitching the idea to manufacturers. In 1989, his persistence paid off when the Laramie Corporation agreed to produce the toy. Initially launched as the Power Drencher, the name was soon changed to something more fitting of its power: the Super Soaker. Sales were slow at first, but after a major marketing push, the Super Soaker exploded in popularity. By 1991, it was generating over $200 million in sales. Over time, the brand became one of the most successful toys in history, with more than 200 million units sold in over 175 variations. In 2013, Johnson won a $73 million settlement from Hasbro, which had acquired Laramie in a dispute over unpaid royalties. In 2015, the Super Soaker was inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame, a far cry from its humble, bathroom-based origins. the Johnson thermoelectric energy converter and clean energy mission. Flush with success from his iconic water gun, Johnson returned to his true passion, energy innovation. He founded Johnson Research and Development and soon began work on what could be his most groundbreaking invention yet, the Johnson thermoelectric energy converter. The Johnson thermoelectric energy converter is a thermodynamic engine that transforms heat directly into electricity, bypassing the mechanical steps used in traditional energy converters. Johnson's goal was ambitious: to double the efficiency of solar power, making it competitive with fossil fuels like coal. With funding from the US Air Force and additional support from the Palo Alto Research Center, Johnson's lab eventually produced 2 working models focused on capturing waste heat under 200 degrees Celsius. In 2008, Popular Mechanics honored the Johnson thermoelectric energy converter with its prestigious Breakthrough Award. And in 2021, after 2 decades of effort, Johnson announced the development of working prototypes, calling it a great milestone for his team. If fully realized, the Johnson thermoelectric energy converter could help usher in a new era of sustainable energy. Batteries of the future. In addition to his work on solar energy, Johnson is advancing the field of battery technology through Johnson Battery Technologies Inc., a company he co-founded to develop next-gen rechargeable batteries. The team is focused on creating batteries that are not only more compact, but also more energy-dense, aiming to support everything from electric vehicles to grid-scale energy storage. Given the global push toward electrification and green energy, Johnson's efforts in this field could be just as impactful as his earlier work, albeit less flashy than a super soaker. Personal life and philanthropy. Lonnie Johnson lives in Atlanta's Sweet Auburn neighborhood with his wife, Linda Moore. The couple has 4 children, although Johnson has kept his family life largely private. Outside of his technical achievements, he's committed to giving back. He serves as the board chairman of the Georgia Alliance for Children and has been involved with several nonprofit and mentorship organizations, including the 100 Black Men of Atlanta and the Boys and Girls Club of America. He also sits on the board of the Chasing the Dream Foundation, founded by baseball legend Hank Aaron. His accolades are numerous. In 2011, he was inducted into the State of Alabama Engineering Hall of Fame. In 2022, he was honored with a place in the National Inventors Hall of Fame, a fitting recognition for someone who has changed the way we play and who may soon change the way we power the planet. A legacy still in motion. Lonnie Johnson's career defies simple classification. He is an inventor, engineer, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. He has designed spacecraft for NASA and toys for children. He has built robots, revolutionized summer fun, and now stands on the brink of transforming renewable energy. Yet for all his accomplishments, Johnson remains remarkably humble. He once said that being inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame wasn't a sign to stop, but further motivation to keep experimenting and exploring. That attitude, the refusal to stand still, the belief that the best ideas are still ahead, is what makes Lonnie Johnson one of the most remarkable figures of our time. Whether he's dazzling kids with water guns or electrifying the world with clean energy, Johnson is proof that curiosity, creativity, and perseverance can indeed change the world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the incredible journey of Lonnie Johnson, don't forget to hit that like button to show your support. Got a favorite Lonnie Johnson invention or inspired by his story? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're into stories about inventors, game changers, and the science that's shaping our future, make sure to hit that subscribe button.